action. All right, welcome to the Huge Movie Podcast. Chris Carfaro, Connor Garrigan, John Gallagher, Jack Maybear on the ones and twos. New addition to the studio, Don Rickles, Rick Man himself. Connor brought his dog, and we will see.
Name's Rick.
We might have to sacrifice him to the movie gods if he continues to bark in my ears.
Behave.
Here we go.
All right. Synopsis surprise. John, take it away.
All right, this is a role this is a 2003 film. All right. The lead role was turned down by Billy Crudup. It was also Johnny Depp and Steve Buscemi were reportedly under consideration for the lead.
It's pronounced Buscemi.
It's actually not. I've actually heard Steve Buscemi say it's Buscemi, but everyone says Buscemi, so he stopped correcting them. So I feel like maybe I'm a little snobby by saying it, but because I know that about him, I want to say it correctly.
Didn't we just have this about somebody else?
I don't know.
David Duchovny and Jeff Goldblum auditioned for the role.
Isn't it Duchovny?
That could be right. I have no idea. Edward Norton expressed interest, but turned it down as he was disappointed with the script. Tom Cruise was offered the role, but he turned it down. Okay, what else can I say about this? Nick Nolte is in this movie.
Is it a Seth Rogen movie?
It is not, but I like this. You guys should ask questions. I can give you hints.
Is it a comedy?
No, but it's funny because it's bad.
Good Will Hunting. Oh, wait.
It's probably not that bad, but
2003, you said?
sort of mixed. Yeah.
Yeah, basically you've just said everything that's not in the movie so far.
Okay. Great. Yeah, that's true. Lou Ferrigno was in it. He made a cameo appearance.
Oh, The Incredible Hulk.
Yes. No.
Hulk.
Yes.
What did I say?
Eric Bana.
Connor wins.
Oh, just Hulk.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk was like 2 years later with Edward Norton.
Okay, that movie gets shit on undeserved. I think Ang Lee, it's not a good movie, but Ang Lee did a lot of like, I don't know, he swung for the fences.
Wait,
with that
was
movie. Yeah,
was
it's
that
pretty
the
cool.
I remember
first?
seeing it as a
It
kid.
was like one of the
first
first
one?
like superhero movies that was filmed like a comic book.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure I saw it with you when we were
Probably.
kids in the
Yeah.
movie theater. Yeah.
So that's crazy. Edward Norton was up for the role.
I think we
And
did.
then later
No,
on.
I don't know why. Like, really remember
He
that.
just liked a different Hulk better. He was
That's
like,
pretty-
fuck you, Ang Lee.
He's like, oh, I could do this better. That's pretty funny.
And then he didn't do it better.
Yeah, isn't it kind of crazy that Mark Ruffalo is the best Hulk?
That's weird.
He's like the least Hulkish person.
He's an effeminate
I think
man.
he's terrible.
No, I mean, not a
What are you
bad thing.
talking about? I think
am too.
Edward Norton's the best Hulk.
I haven't seen that one in a really long time.
It's the same Hulk, but different actor. But
I thought
yeah.
that movie was like panned.
The Incredible Hulk?
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Hulk was.
Oh, Hulk was.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like they destroyed
apart.
Hulk. Like,
Yeah.
it could have been way better than what it is.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the story arc there. But I don't have to talk about Marvel. 'Cause
She-Hulk, though, is so good.
Jack, fuck
you
off.
think it's good?
No.
What?
Fuck Marvel. We've got two cinematic universes that we don't like here. And that's Marvel and anything
Citizen
Orson
Kane.
Welles. Citizen Kane. Fuck that guy.
I hate Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane can suck rocks.
CKCU.
Chris's favorite superhero movie is Hellboy. Like all the Hellboy
Jack,
movies.
your favorite superhero movie is Hellboy.
No. Your favorite movie is Hellboy. Fucking weirdo.
All right. So to start the conversation about North by Northwest versus Whiplash, I would say that Whiplash was from start to finish a suspense-filled thrill ride that played to the beat of its own drum.
That was nuts.
Ew. I'm proud of myself on that one.
Pissed off.
And North by Northwest was just a guy going, I'm not him.
The whole time.
So before we get into the debate, I give the slight advantage to Whiplash.
The slight advantage? After all the shit you were talking this week in the group chat?
Oh, I mean, I've got a large base for why.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
I'm going to have a drum pun counter right over my shoulder.
I'm done.
Wait, I want to know why.
What?
He's just making drum puns.
Oh.
Yeah.
You gonna stick with this the whole time?
Yeah. Be careful. You guys got to keep your head on your shoulders. I might snare you in one of my traps.
Oh god.
The symbolism in that movie. Your turn.
So North by Northwest is definitely the more entertaining of the two Golden Era movies that we've seen so far. I won't say it's the better. I think Vertigo is the better movie. I think it was just more well done overall, but I had a lot more fun watching North by Northwest. I didn't have a lot of fun, but I had a lot more fun than Vertigo. And then Whiplash is just one of my favorite all-time movies to just put on. Like I've seen it so many times, and I'll keep watching it. It's a good movie, keeps me entertained. There's not much more you can ask for. I won't put it up there as one of the greats ever, but that doesn't matter. It's still good.
Because I thought Whiplash, just like the pacing of Whiplash, was so much better. Like North by Northwest just was not my tempo.
Not quite my tempo.
Jesus.
John, you up?
Whiplash is one of the most recommended to me films ever because I play the drums. People have been telling me for years since it came out that I need to watch it.
Well, it's also because you have that T-shirt that says "I play drums."
Yeah, I know, and I wear it all the time. So, I mean, I enjoy Whiplash. It's definitely a great bit of drummer porn, like definitely. But I really don't think it's a great movie. I mean, I watched it again this week, enjoyed it. There's a ton of playing the drums, taking up a lot of space in this short movie. I do like that it's pretty short, kind of gets to the point. Like, it's good, but it's not amazing. North by Northwest, in the words of Aldous Snow from Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I've got my instincts, and they weren't good. You go fuck yourself. So I didn't watch that fucking movie. And by the way, we are hiring an intern who can watch the 1950s movies for me and then tell me what I should think about them.
It's unpaid.
Because I will not be watching them.
Just for credit.
But I feel
it's paid a lot.
We'll pay
them a lot.
No.
Yeah, you get
college
Chris
credit.
will pay an intern $10,000 to sign up
yes,
and
10,000 Carth bucks, redeemable at your local Carfaro house.
What do you get from that?
Carf
Like, could I
credits.
get meatballs? Like
Carfaro?
Yeah.
At a Carfaro house?
Yeah.
It's more like Waffle House, except there's no service.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can't get much. Maybe a backhanded compliment.
Okay.
That's all I've ever gotten at a Carfaro house.
I definitely liked Whiplash way more, and I've never seen it before. And Hitchcock really let me down this week. I liked Vertigo way more, so I kind of don't blame you for not watching.
See, that's crazy, guys, because I thought that North by Northwest was, you kind of said it, but more of a fun movie. I think that...
And that was Hitchcock's intention, too, when I was reading about it. Like, this was his lighthearted movie. This is like, he didn't want to try too hard with symbolism or themes or anything like that, and actually makes fun of a lot of the people who write about the themes. And
Still?
Not still.
Wait, I have one last point.
Yeah.
I love Miles Teller,
Yeah.
if that's how you say his name.
I didn't.
Is it?
I
Yeah.
didn't remember him having so. I didn't remember him having so many scars on his face. Did you guys
Yeah.
notice that? It was like
Yeah.
like very obvious in that movie. He's got that one across his neck. I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah. I think
Why
he was
he's
in a car
perfect
accident.
for Top
Oh,
Gun.
really?
Yeah,
No, it was a bus
like
accident.
right before
Bus accident?
the big concert.
It's funny. He was in another movie, The Spectacular Now, also featured him getting into a car accident.
Really?
Well, if you have all those scars already, you got to use them right,
Yeah.
in the narrative. So
Actually got those scars by getting into a car accident himself.
on the way to a shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On purpose, though. He had to, like, method act.
Yeah, I just thought North by Northwest. It was a very fun movie. We're going to compare it to Vertigo, obviously, because it was Hitchcock's other movie that we've seen so far. We kind of spoke before about Mark Ruffalo being kind of a, would you say, John, an effeminate male? I think every single male actor in North by Northwest gave me like the similar vibe.
Oh, dude, Cary Grant's run is the fucking best. He was the pinnacle of manliness at
Which
the time.
is hilarious.
And he gave the T-Rex claws while he was running.
And he just kept like, I thought that his mother was his wife the whole time until he like outwardly started calling her mother, because he looks older than her.
That actress can't be much older than him.
No, not at all. So I thought that was funny, but yeah, the vibe that I got from all those guys was like, yeah, we really want to, assassinate you or whatever, but also if that doesn't work, I'd like to hold your hand.
Oh, should we explain the movies a little bit?
Yeah. Let's give them the synopsis.
Who's taking which?
He was 8 years older than him, by the way.
We'll pick after I say
She
this.
had him when he was 8.
I don't think we can.
She was 8.
I don't think anybody can pick North by Northwest, though.
Yeah, this is going to be more of like a discussion just about why we're moving Whiplash forward.
Yeah. But I do like, there's some fun stories about North by Northwest that I found when I was reading the IMDb like trivia and stuff. But, all right. So North by Northwest is a 1959 film, spy thriller. It was nominated for awards, but didn't win too much outside of like indie awards by the Academy.
It being classified as a spy thriller is also kind of funny, because although it did have like the plot device was he was being mistaken for a spy.
Yeah.
Technically, there were no spies in the whole movie. There was the one FBI agent.
So the bad guy was a spy.
Who was? I thought he was just like a...
Eve was a spy.
I guess, yeah.
And then the whole agency, they're all spies.
I was wrong.
So he was the only one that wasn't a spy.
Have that redacted from the record, Preston.
And
But I know, because I thought the same thing too.
Mm-hmm.
And then
the plane was a spy.
Yeah.
It was a spy plane.
Yeah.
By the way, again, sorry to cut you off, but did you have any nostalgia like I did from when we watched this in film class?
Yeah, because it's like, it was the first time Hitchcock knew how to use a POV shot in this movie. And I remember that's why we watched it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the airplane scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or leading up to it when he's just standing there and it's like POV shot, eyeline match, reaction shot. Over and over and over again.
Yeah, it was finding out, because I didn't know about that before we watched it in class, but watching it, because I watched it this morning again, it was like almost nauseating how many POV shots there were in there.
It was super annoying.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. But as we said, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, starring Cary Grant, Eva Marie Saint, who's from Newark, and she's still alive. She's 98.
Ooh, we should have her on the pod.
I'll try to get in touch with her people. And then James Mason was the bad guy. Whiplash was a 2014 psychological drama, according to Wikipedia. I feel like that's how you... Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
Because I think that's just like how you do it. Because I was trying to figure out what type of movie this was. I mean, obviously a drama, but like what else it was. I guess psychological is...
I would definitely say
Yeah.
that's the best description, I think.
Okay. Directed by Damien Chazelle. This is his first movie that he directed, first feature film that he directed.
Really?
This was actually originally a short film that he made, not starring Miles Teller, but he wanted him. Miles Teller just couldn't do it for the short film. And then for the feature-length film, it was between the guy who was in the short and then Miles Teller. Miles Teller could drum. He'd been drumming since he was like 15, so that's why they went with him. And he was a bigger name-ish at the time.
So
and he's so hot.
Yeah.
So basically, to go from the short to the feature-length film, they added a lot of fills.
Okay. I just want to
I'm actually
put
starting to have
something
fun with that now.
something on record here, because I know that Miles Teller's hot, but whatever, great body.
Honestly, it doesn't do it for me.
hot.
But he was able to mime the drums because he was a drummer, but he didn't play the drums that were played in this movie.
He did. 40% of the recordings were Miles Teller.
So like the easy shit was probably Miles Teller.
Probably, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
They also
Like,
did use a body double when they were filming like a lot of the more technical
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. But he did play a lot of the drums.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to hear your take, not only on this as far as like a movie about drumming, but having obviously being a musician, being in bands and stuff like that. Do you find it frustrating when you see musicians like just obviously, or actors obviously not being musicians?
I mean, he's definitely not obviously not being a musician.
Yeah, I'm not talking about in this, but like other films too.
No, I don't really care. I mean, they're supposed to be. What do you mean? Can you give me an example?
When we were younger, like playing football, whenever football was in a movie and there was just obviously stuff that you just would never see on a football field, or the uniforms didn't fit, or the helmets didn't fit, it used to annoy me.
Mm-hmm.
People getting decleated on every single play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've seen a lot of actors obviously not being musicians in movies.
I don't know like a specific movie, but I know a lot of times when you see someone like playing the piano in a movie, there's never like a consistent, coherent shot between the hands playing and like the actual shot of the actor.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be performing it. I mean,
it just you're supposed to have that suspension of disbelief, and for me, that kind of like brings you back into this is a movie.
Yeah.
I feel like what's that movie with Lady Gaga?
Lady Gaga.
Star is Born.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of those, like she was probably like realistically playing.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think her and Bradley Cooper did like all those songs together.
I love Bradley Cooper too.
Another one, yeah. Yeah. North by Northwest is a spy thriller, a case of mistaken identity where a normal man gets mistaken as a spy by the enemy during the Cold War, and then the hijinks that ensue. And then Whiplash is about a very talented young drummer who goes to a very prestigious school and gets a part in the jazz competition band with a less than orthodox composer.
Do you think that J.K. Simmons, who played the band composer, he had the most slurs used by anyone in a movie?
No.
No, I mean American History X exists.
Oh fuck, I forgot about that. And Birth of a Nation.
As far as slurs go, no, but
And no, Birth of a Nation is not on the.
it's very shocking when
in
he
the
said it.
bracket, and we will not be talking about it after this episode. We do not condone Birth of a Nation.
It was incredibly enjoyable profanity. To
Birth
be
of a
honest.
Nation?
No.
Sorry.
There's a line in the movie where he says,
I will fuck you like a pig.
Yeah.
so the original line, which is in the short film, is "I will gut you like a fucking pig," and J.K. Simmons messed up on the take, and Damien Chazelle thought it was so funny. He's like, "I'm keeping this." And J.K. Simmons was actually pissed because he thought it was just a ridiculous line, but it worked.
I thought that was cool to see too, because like growing up in sports, you always had that coach.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like you never thought like that was another realm of society. Like that was just a sports thing. But then to see it like a composer in a band also has that, like it almost felt like I knew exactly what he was going through, even though I'd never been in a band before.
yeah,
I've had teachers like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
yeah.
Like completely psychotic teachers that have just like gone after.
Like in high school?
Yeah, high school. I remember one specifically like for middle school though. That he was like a math teacher, bald, just like him. The whole time I watched that movie, I was thinking of him. I'm not gonna say his name, but he taught math, and he was so fucking creepy too. He'd go up to like girls' desks, and we were in like 7th, 8th grade, and he would put his like foot up on top of the desk, and then like just start screaming at people like across the classroom while doing that, and it was just so odd. Yeah.
It's nuts.
Tenure, man. It's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty insane. But yeah, some of those outbursts, like you said, John, were actually pretty enjoyable, like and entertaining. Man.
Very entertaining profanity.
Yeah.
The only thing that's on par with that I've ever seen is Malcolm Tucker on The Thick of It, this British show. It's just like sometimes profanity when it's used.
Yeah, I mean,
that
there's a
degree
time
is
and
just
place
so
for
funny.
everything.
And J.K. Simmons, I think, was the only person. There's probably actors that could do it, but he was just so perfect for that role. It was his delivery too,
Yes.
because the only there's only one improvised line that he said.
Really?
Everything else was scripted.
Wow.
That's pretty intense then. I also I loved the 3-way drumming competition to get the core.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was, and again, kind of like you said, it was all filler because they're just playing drums and stuff like that. But I thought that was probably one of the most well done parts of the entire movie. The amount of tension that created, and then they would, cut and juxtapose that with everyone just like waiting around.
Those were my favorite parts.
Yeah, I
Is
thought
people
that
just
was
sitting
so
there,
funny.
and then you can hear like the cymbal crash outside of the room.
Yeah.
I love that.
And you needed that break too, because I mean, they were literally like their eyes were rolling in the back of their heads because they were trying to drum so hard, and then all of a sudden you just have guys tapping pencils.
I thought Miles Teller was just incredible when he finally gets it. That face, that it's like he's not a person anymore.
No.
He's just a drummer.
His
like,
face
that's
like
it.
melted.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I don't really love. I don't feel that there's a lot of redemption in this movie because I think that Miles Teller is not a person. He's a drummer. I think he's incredibly unhealthily obsessed with this thing, and there's no redemption to that at the end of the movie. And J.K. Simmons is still J.K. Simmons, and it's just interesting. There's not really a
I think it's more
redemption there.
Because initially I thought it was like a character study, which are some of my favorite movies. Like we talked about Aronofsky before, so his movies like Black Swan and The Wrestler are some of my favorite movies of all time because it's literally just a character study on one person. And I think that this was also a huge character study, but because there was no redemption, it felt a lot more just like the explanation of a man like just driving to his passion, and you never really see the results of a pursuit of perfection. And it was almost a commentary on how like there's never perfection, right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And you can kind of see that with J.K. Simmons' character too, because I think Miles Teller's character reflected a lot off of him, because when he eventually, and spoiler alerts guys, when he eventually gets fired from the school and he's just playing in that half-filled jazz club, you're like, this is where your perfection has led. You're still like just a mid-range New York jazz player.
But at least he tried.
Exactly. So like there's stuff to be said on both sides of that. Obviously I'm pursuing, a passion similarly. So it's like I can recognize that I have some of those similar traits, and also it's just like sometimes that's where you end up, and it's terrifying. It's gratifying in the fact that you can be complacent with that as long as you're pursuing your passion. And then it's also just like that's not the end of the story either, because he's still living and breathing, still pursuing that passion. So if the movie didn't end where it did, like maybe he does get to a different level.
And he gets his bird.
Yeah, exactly. He gets his rosebud. Fuck Citizen Kane.
I felt that my interpretation of him playing in the jazz club was like very different than that.
Okay.
Like, to me, it was like that was like it just, I don't know, maybe this is just us projecting our own selves onto this movie. To me, it was like this guy can do this and have self-actualization doing this thing. He loves jazz, and he's like on the stage performing it, and he can just do that and have what he needs, but he has this horrible obsession that he can't get away from that is ruining his life, even though he thinks it's the most important thing in his life.
Being the jazz band?
Being the conductor and the
Right, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Being the dictator of that like core competition band, right? That's what they called it in the movie. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and I think obviously we won't know like what his ultimate goals are, but I did get a feeling of calm when he was playing in the jazz band.
Yeah.
Which like obviously strongly juxtaposes against him being that like authoritative dictator type figure in the competition band. Which is good to see, because you see that in Miles Teller as well, but almost in the reverse, where I felt his playing was starting to become his anger outlet, and then the rest of his life was more subdued. You obviously see spikes of it when he's at the dinner table, just like ripping on all of his cousins. And then you see, it wouldn't be like an anger spike, but when he breaks up with his girlfriend, it's like he ebbs and flows in almost like the exact opposite way of J.K. Simmons' character. And that cross section where they meet is in the competition band.
Yeah.
What does milk the cunt mean?
Milk the cunt!
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
You sure
It's
that
when
happened?
he gets there on the first day after he's waiting there for like 2 hours. Everybody filters in. They're all like chit-chatting. And then someone just screams, milk the cunt! And then everybody starts tuning their instruments.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Is it when the woodwind players have to soak their reeds?
Yeah, like right at that point.
Maybe that's what it means. Or when the
But like even, and then they're all like the brass guys are like doing their little spit valves.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I also really appreciated.
so no one knows.
Yeah, no,
It's not a common music
Jack,
term.
why don't you look that up?
I've never heard of that. I feel like it's just like trying to say like get ready, but
Yeah.
in like the grossest possible way. And I just like picture like the what's it called? The guy who leads like the front, or
conductor.
whatever.
Conductor, yeah.
Like the conductor of the jazz band. He was probably the one who started that. That's
Yeah,
like
it-
just how I picture.
It fits his vibe. Yeah.
Do you think they have cunt farms?
Sounds like it's just a it's
that was-
just an acronym sort of phrase for middle C.
Oh, okay.
But it's not a real thing. It was
Okay.
made up for
It was
the
made
movie,
up for the
so-
movie. Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
Weird.
That was my favorite line, like a throwaway line. And then in North by Northwest, when they get to Kaplan, the fake agent, when they get to his hotel room, they find his shampoo, and Cary Grant goes, "Kaplan has dandruff."
yeah.
It's the best.
Yo,
Wait, was
Those are my two-
Whiplash based on a true story though?
Kind of. So
loosely.
Damien Chazelle, the director, was a musician growing up, was in like
Okay.
jazz bands in high school. Nothing to this level, but I think he had like a conductor, not quite like this, but like something like a similar experience. And then he just used that as a basis for his short film, and then was able to get J.K. Simmons to act in this, which was fucking incredible.
I feel like I've never really seen him before.
J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
So he
I
had,
don't know
like,
why.
He was J.J. Jonas.
Dude, his role
John-
is one
yeah,
of my
J.J.
favorite.
Jonas, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean in other stuff. Like
Jameson.
J. Jonah Jameson. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah, so he was always like a supporting role. He was in I Love You Man. He was the dad in I Love You Man.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
you're
He's
right.
the farmer's insurance fella.
One of his only real lead roles.
don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
He's a
Have
Supporting
you ever
actor,
seen those
right? Yeah.
commercials?
Yeah, he's a character actor for sure.
I don't watch commercials.
Yeah,
I just stream now.
I feel
remember
like
those
he's in a lot of
commercials.
streaming commercials.
yeah.
Like on YouTube?
No, like
Oh, you pay for premium?
yeah, I have premium.
We
I
get
don't
it,
watch
Jack.
those ads.
You've got a lucrative career.
But yeah,
Stop rubbing it
He
in.
was in Kung Fu Panda 3.
he does a lot of books on tape, which are awesome.
He's got a great voice.
Yeah, I can listen to him like read anything.
Really good voice.
I don't know. For some reason, when he's in those insurance commercials,
It's
the way
Farmers Insurance, right?
farmers, I think either Farmers or State Farm. I always get those confused. He says policy weird. He says like
I think
policy.
he is in State Farm. He's with Flo, right?
Oh, dude.
No, that's
Let me-
progressive.
your insurance knowledge.
No,
is
he's definitely Farmers.
subpar. Yeah, it's
I can
definitely
hear it.
farmers.
Yeah.
You know, there's like there was another insurance company that had commercials with like another girl in it, and I believe she like stopped doing it, or at least for a little while. But there's so many online creeps that are like obsessed with Flo and all of the
I'm not surprised.
the like main character
People
commercial
fixate
girls.
on stuff, and it's
Yeah.
just
Fucking
like
weird.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just
there's
so glad I
groups
don't have
that
that with
like you
stuff.
can join. I don't suggest. I'm not a part
There's
of
a lot of
any of
online
these groups. I want to make that clear.
People are so
Mom, if you're listening, I don't follow those groups.
I'm very excited to go through your browser history. later.
Just for the sake of the academic piece, I'm gonna take a look and join one of these groups. But later on, I will.
You're gonna go
I
into
did
it
for like a
myself.
month, and
and here it comes out.
I'm kidding.
One of the other things that really made me laugh in North by Northwest, and I don't know if you guys noticed it as much. Cary Grant, I don't think he knows how to kiss girls.
Oh, dude, kissing in old movies is disgusting.
Dude, well, first of all, it's like clenched lips just rubbing up against each other.
Yeah.
The funniest part for me though is when they're in the train car. The first time they actually kiss, he just doesn't know what to do with his hands. So they're like awkwardly fingertips placed on top of her scalp, like behind her head. And then they just stay there. And because it's like a reverse shot,
Yeah.
they're just so prominent in the screen. It's like I couldn't look away, and it literally looked like he just didn't know what he was doing.
I feel like it's realistic.
What do you mean?
Like it's completely realistic.
Not knowing what to do with your hands?
Yeah, I never.
Wrap them around her waist or something.
I don't know, man. Sometimes I put them in my pockets.
I
Yeah,
do this.
Sometimes I
pretend
put
like I'm
them
a
behind,
penguin.
in my butt pockets. With one foot up.
I'm learning so much from this podcast, guys. Let me tell you. But so not only on the train car, because then after that scene ended, I was like, okay, maybe it was just because like spatially it was weird. They were kissing against the wall or something. He did very, very similar thing in the hotel later. It was like another just weird. It brought me completely out of it. I'm like, what is this asshole doing? And there's no real story behind that. I was just like, this Cary Grant doesn't know how to kiss.
Oh, him in this whole movie, it like cracks me up because he's like supposed to be the best actor at the time, or one of the best, like the best leading man or whatever.
He was supposed to get James Bond after this movie, right?
Oh, I don't know. This definitely inspired James Bond.
I feel like they all look the same. Like Vertigo in this movie, it's like kind of odd that everyone looks like the same character.
Yeah.
So he took this role, read the script, and they were like about a third of the way or 2/3 of the way done. And he goes to Alfred Hitchcock and goes, "The script is garbage. I have no idea what's going on." And Alfred Hitchcock's like, "Yeah, your character doesn't, so that's fine. Like, it'll work for the movie." And that made him even more mad. And you can kind of like see in his performance, like his pride was like getting the best of him. Like he couldn't be the dumb guy.
Yeah.
He couldn't let himself not know what was going on.
Dude, the first
even though it
scene-
was just his character.
The first scene when they stick him up with the gun to kidnap him, he's like, "Oh well, at least let me say goodbye to my friends." Like, you could tell he was being abrasive for like.
I think that was also his character was supposed to be dumbly confident like that, but he was too confident.
But I don't think he was supposed to, because he was like a big wig Madison Ave advertising guy. So he has to have some sort of like intelligence, no?
No, yeah, I know.
All right. We're talking
No,
about
yeah.
1960s ad men, okay? All right. Bit over.
Feel like we're gonna have a lot to take out.
So that's what I liked about the movie though, is because it was like charming at how it's like extremely highly rated. Still, people love it, and it doesn't even seem like it would be good back then too.
No.
People
It's
still loving old movies is so fucking weird.
but also
Yo, fuck you.
yeah. Well, I feel
Like the Beatles.
It's different.
So this was 96
don't know why.
on the list.
Yeah,
And what was the other Hitchcock? It was
Like 98.
98. So like I feel like as time progresses, you're not going to see as many of these movies, because I'm sure
Yeah.
True.
you go back like 10, 20 years.
I mean, Everything
10
Everywhere
years.
All at
Totally.
Once knocks one of these off.
Right,
now.
exactly.
Yeah.
So and I think you're just going to end up starting to see that these movies, you're not going to see a 1950s movies on here in the next 5 years or something like that.
I honestly feel like looking at the IMDb top 100, it was like so many fucking old movies. And now it's like really not like that at all.
No,
so.
yeah. Well, that was when IMDb like kind of first was popular.
Yeah.
Like,
Internet.
yeah.
Yeah, because Citizen Kane for a while was, I think, number 2 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Oh my
Now
god.
it's
Shawshank was
Thank
number 1
God.
forever.
Yeah.
As long as I can remember, Shawshank was number 1.
Which is weird.
That was
I
one
find
of the
it weird,
best
too.
movies I've ever seen, and I just recently
Shank?
watched it 6
So
months
good.
ago or something like that.
Shank.
Number 1 on our list, man.
Box office flop.
Really? Wow.
I feel like a lot of like movies that get a lot of critical acclaim, like staying power critical acclaim, weren't very well received at
In the
first.
past, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's getting it's different now.
It's hard to miss them because of
Yeah.
how much advertising and what's the word I'm looking for?
I think there is a saturated
Media
market
attention.
where people can miss things, but that's like A24's strategy, so that you miss it in theaters and then you keep watching it after. That's probably not their goal, but feels like it.
Yeah.
Can you guys tell me, so what makes Whiplash a great movie? I mean, it's enjoyable, but what makes it great? Like, what is the
I think it's the connection I
quality
have
about
to it. I think that's just personally like The acting, the performances are well done. The themes are pretty easily picked up on. Like I don't have to think too hard, but there is some stuff that's not right in your face. It's entertaining. It's fast paced.
And I also think that
It's funny.
yeah, exactly. If you break it down into its individual components, of filmmaking, like from directing to acting to cinematography and music, each one of those components are extremely well done, and one of them doesn't like trump the other one. Everything highlights each other very well. The screenwriting is also like I think it's very good. It's arguably, I would say, the weakest of the grouping, but everything goes together very well. It's paced very well because you feel as frantic as Miles Teller. Is it Miles Teller or Miles Teller?
One of those is a name.
Yeah. Mile.
I'm dumb, guys. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I've been faking being smart for years now. I'm coming out as a dumb person, okay? But every component of the movie works well on its own, and then it's one of those times where the sum of the entire thing is greater than its parts.
Stole my explanation of Parasite from last week. Exactly how I described Parasite.
I may or may not have been editing it last night, so yeah.
Have you ever seen Love and Mercy before?
Love and Mercy.
Brian Wilson. Yeah.
Did it remind you a little bit of that? Just like with the doctor? I don't know. I just like got a vibe like because of the villain in both movies. Like they just seem
Kinda.
Yeah.
They're both music movies.
Yeah, I don't
really
know.
good.
I just kept
Paul
thinking
Dano is
about
incredible in
that,
that
even though
movie.
Miles is a better actor.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think Paul Dano is really good too.
Debatable.
Debatable.
But I didn't
What?
think Whiplash was like great.
But you're saying
I just
Miles
thought
Teller's
it was good. Like
That's what I-
it
that's how I
wasn't
feel.
like I wouldn't be like 10 out of 10. Like
Yeah.
you got to watch this.
I'm
Like for some
surprised
reason,
that
Love
it's
and
top
Mercy.
100.
I always say to people that they should, but it's actually a true story. So.
Yeah, the Brian Wilson story is also just fascinating too.
Yeah.
Also,
so-
the Beach Boys are just fucking incredible.
And so much better than the Beatles.
I mean, I'll let you say that.
Okay,
Like, you could make that argument.
you're back on my A list.
So maybe this is a question for the musicians. So when he's first auditioning, and there's the whole rushing dragging scene.
Dragging just a hair.
Was he actually rushing or dragging, or was this like Fletcher knowing he's good? He already knows he's good from hearing him practice, and he's already testing him.
So I think
was he? That's why I want to know. So I think he was already just testing him, but I want to know if you guys can hear if he's rushing or dragging because you play the drums.
I thought about that. That maybe he was like this time when I watched it, I thought a lot more that like a lot of the things J.K. Simmons was doing, I realized that a lot of them were psychological tests rather than reality. And I think for the most part that was the case. I mean, there was a couple times where he started that he was slightly either one way or the other, but like
Okay.
honestly, I didn't hear like he was supposedly rushing
he's both
the whole time or something.
interchanging.
I really didn't think that was happening. I think it was mostly just trying to fuck with him.
I think the movie
What do you
answers it for you.
I
yourself.
thought he was just trying to fuck with him.
Yeah,
And
okay.
even like the part where like the other guy's out of tune.
That's what I was just about
Yeah.
to say. The movie answers it for you ahead of time because he plays that mind game where he doesn't know if he's out of tune or not. He wasn't even
yeah.
the guy, and then it's that's the next
Yeah.
scene, or it's the same scene,
Yeah.
but the next part. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's all
There's
that.
there is a lot of stuff with like coaches. I feel like in this
Yeah.
movie, like where I feel like every fucking coach always.
It's kind of
would
a sports
say,
movie.
You're as weak as like the weakest person on this team. Like if Jack isn't scoring a goal, then no one's scoring a goal.
Right. Which is why, as a
You're
non-musician, I can still completely relate to the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's it's very relatable. And people in like offices, they have the same thing. You know, a boss who's just like, I want you to be the best salesperson there is. You know, I had a very intense sales coach when I first got out of college. And it's all the same shit.
Yeah.
It's all like motivating, trying to find people's like motivational factors. And a guy like J.K. Simmons' character just has the one way, which is why I think for some people it works really well. Like when he was saying,
Yeah, like Sean Casey worked well for him.
right, exactly. For him, it worked really well.
So was he upset that Sean Casey died, or was he upset that he doesn't have a Charlie Parker anymore?
I think he was upset that people were blaming him for it, but he was just trying to push him. Like he doesn't care. He was like,
I think he does kind of care,
Yeah.
but I think there's a
cares for
sense of
different-
pride there
He
too.
cares for a different reason. He cares because people can't see what he's trying to do to these kids. Like he doesn't care that a kid killed himself.
Oh, see, that's where I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
I think that was like a little bit of like trying to make him a little bit more human.
Right? Yeah, he's
I think he
recognizing
cared
his
that he
fault.
killed himself, but
Yeah.
he can't stop himself from being who he is. But he actually, when it comes to that point, he cares about the emotional trauma of it.
So-
but he just can't. He can't help himself because he's
And
fucked
doesn't
up.
really want to.
Yeah. I just got a new idea for the podcast. Let me know what you guys think. Based off of the Three Idiots and this movie, I think we have to have a suicide counter now.
Oh my god, there's already 4 from the
We're
fucking
up
Three
to
Idiots.
4. So it's oh no, Vertigo had a bunch
That's
of
suicide too, because she doesn't get killed. It wasn't on purpose, but she kills herself at
Yeah.
the end. Yeah.
Do we count all the people that watched that garbage and then killed themselves immediately afterwards?
If you could find those numbers, we'll add them to the total tally at the end. But yeah, so
That's
that
like 6 right now.
5 because the one she didn't actually kill herself the first time, right? In Vertigo,
No, she was killed.
she was.
The husband killed
Assisted
her.
suicide.
Oh, nah. I'd say that still classifies as murder.
You're right.
So yeah, total's up to 5. Let me know what you think the final total is down in the comments.
You know what? I'm surprised that like Remember the Titans isn't on.
Yeah, me too.
It's
Kind of
top
like
100. Like how the hell is what's it called? North by Northwest on this instead?
Well, I think it's like an artsy fartsy type. Like people like the fact that it's Hitchcock and it has
Yeah.
like
Okay.
for
Yes.
the time period, it has a lot of techniques that influence modern techniques.
Okay. Okay.
Remember the Titans is just a good story.
But
you know?
why couldn't they just like make this list different where they're not sucking up to the people who like helped
Jack,
create better movies?
What do you think
Yeah.
this podcast is, bud?
we're shitting on all those.
We're
what we're doing.
shitting on this list. We
I-
don't. We do
okay.
not praise. People don't understand. Okay, let me just say
Well, I
this
mean,
for you
you were
viewers at
saying
home.
last time or even before today, like how you agree with the list.
No, I don't.
I mean, it's all boiled down to
No, I
fuck
don't.
Susan Kane.
Literally, the idea of this entire bracket system is because I'm sick of IMDb having reign over what's good.
You know, I was looking at IMDb's top 100 list. This isn't even it. Like, I found this as like a file on Chris's computer.
Shut up, Connor. I had this idea a while ago, and just now we're doing it, and I didn't bother to remake the list.
Chris
We'll have
said that
updated versions.
Before you guys even got here, Chris was saying how Avengers should be higher.
You guys got me. I'm a closeted Marvel fan.
God, that's worse than being a normal Marvel fan.
Yeah, it is.
I know.
Come out,
man.
God
Come
damn it,
out,
Jack.
man.
Guys, this is the last episode. Jack Mayberry is going to be our producer.
Come watch my new podcast,
Oh my
the
God.
huge, giant Flames and Fire podcast with movies.
That's a really good title.
That's really good, yeah.
That's funny.
The dinner scene was so fucking funny.
I
Love that.
Yes.
Someone doubles down on being a douche. It just gets me every time. Like when he says, it's Division 3.
It's Division 3.
And they're
was
like,
really
excuse me? And instead of going, well, it's
Nothing.
like, well, I go to a really good school. Like, he just immediately goes, it's not even Division 2. It's Division 3.
That was really funny.
I liked it all the way up until the very end where he was like, "Oh, I got an answer. Come play with us." And he goes, 4 words an NFL team will never say.
It's a great line.
It's a great line, but I felt like
And then his dad comes in with a killer.
what did his dad say? I don't remember.
Or, what's the music?
By the way, Paul Reiser, great
Oh, great,
actor.
yeah.
Love
Great
love
casting.
Paul Reiser.
I love him in everything. Did you ever see the show, Red Oaks?
No,
It's good.
Oh, that's what he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
I knew him from something.
It's entertaining, at least.
I really liked that character because it was it was very contradictory to, I think, what you see in a lot of these kind of music and even maybe sports movies too, where it's like the overly obsessed parent who's like pushing the kid. He was just a good dad. He was just looking out for his kid, you know?
Yeah.
He just wanted him to be happy.
But
And then, you know, obviously the villain, instead of being the parent, was
right.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
You did kind of see his douchebaggery though at the dinner scene.
Yeah,
where
what-
he had to
what-
have that last jab in at the very end.
He
On
says
his
Lincoln
own
Center.
son.
Yeah, because he couldn't stand his son being a douche.
Right, I get that.
I did not like
Try-
that, yeah.
I just like you should be on your son's side
Yeah.
because they're making fun of him just as much as he's.
I
making
think
fun
it
of
might
them.
have been done on purpose to how much he's ostracizing himself for his goals.
Yeah.
So even his father's like fed up with some of his shit.
Yeah, I could see that being the case too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dinner scene was great. As a D3 baller, I felt very, very attacked personally.
That was actually my favorite part about it, was thinking about you being attacked.
I was sitting there having a good time. I completely forgot about that scene, and then literally I didn't
forgot
watch the
about that.
next scene because I was like, I need to get back to ball.
Gotta get faster. Gotta get stronger.
Did you actually play Division III basketball?
Lacrosse.
Oh,
Basketball.
Obviously.
basketball. I was like, what?
No, I said baller. Lacrosse balls.
Could be
you know?
anything.
Yeah, I didn't want to admit it, but I was
That's what I was
D3 highlight.
What?
You don't know what highlight is?
No.
All right. Insert
got
picture of highlight here.
Fastest growing sport in America.
Is it?
No, that's badminton.
The fastest sport in
I
America.
thought it was pickleball.
Wouldn't sprinting be the fastest sport in America?
Fastest
No,
growing
highlight.
sport.
What's highlight?
the big scoops.
Fastest growing sport? Competitive eating.
Ooh,
There's
Bringing it
tons
back.
of like
Brendan Fraser.
there's tons of one-liners in Whiplash too that I love a good one-liner. So
A lot of them use the F word, so we're not gonna.
yeah, we can't really repeat them. One of my favorites
Insert
is
definition here.
when he calls Connolly Johnny Utah. Just fuck off, Johnny Utah.
Who's
Turn my
Johnny
pages,
Utah?
bitch. I have no idea.
'Cause I've heard that before too. I've never heard, like, I don't know who that is at all.
That was good. The first chair drummer was such a
It's
shithead.
from Point Break. That's where it's from. Yeah. Okay.
That guy was my least favorite character.
So he wasn't the redhead, right?
No, he was the
The
redhead.
the first guy.
no, the shithead
oh,
guy
Tanner.
with the slick back hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His fucking name was Tanner. What do you expect?
Also, when he lost the folder,
Oh yeah. What do you think happened?
I think that well, you don't see it, right? So I think, and this is probably like a little bit of a conspiracy, because of J.K. Simmons' character pushing Miles Teller's character so much. What I think is he was waiting in the wings because he knew he was gonna fuck up, and he snatched the folder on purpose.
That's what I think too.
I like to
he did
think
to
that
fuck
he
with
was
him,
like sneaking around too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, like Swiper.
There's music.
That's
They
something
should've
I want to
used that.
see.
That would have been a good use of music in the film.
Yeah. I want to see that in a movie so bad, where there's just one scene that's a completely different tone from the rest of the movie, and there's just no explanation. Like,
like
there's not
Tarantino
even like
does
a
that.
beat.
Think about Hateful Eight when they go over Jodie's character and the narrator just completely switches. They didn't have narration in the entire film, and then he was talking about how he was like waiting in the wings, smoking his what are they, red apple cigarettes. I feel like that was a tonal change.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
It's not on here, unfortunately,
I'm not surprised.
but we will have a bracket of Tarantino's best movies for sure. We broke a little bit, so let's do final remarks. Put it forward.
Or what do you think the matchup is here? Like, if you had to pick something between the two movies.
Okay.
I'm having trouble with this
So
because I just didn't like North by Northwest at all.
for me, it really just kind of comes down to the complete package. You have to look at these movies, right? Because if you're gonna compare North by Northwest in any one of like the individual aspects of filmmaking, I don't think that you can really do much because of how many years have been in between both movies. So I would just basically go with entertainment value and aesthetic. whether that's visual or music, whatever you want to call it. And what it kind of comes down to me is just the ability to keep me entertained by both movies. And again, it could be just because I'm more closely related to, not related, I don't even know what I'm talking about. Because I was born more recently, I just think Whiplash was an overall better movie. I've come to expect a certain level in my films at this point. And again, I thought Whiplash was a fantastic movie, which I think is why it's in the top 30, top 40.
I think 39
Top 40.
it was.
Yeah.
39. Yeah. So why it's in, let's just say, the top 50 of the IMDb 100, and North by Northwest is looking like it's probably on its way out within the next couple of years. So to me, you just have to take it on face value. With a closer matchup, you might have to get into the weeds a little bit more. But for entertainment value, I think Whiplash obviously takes it.
I'm going to go POV shots.
Okay.
Just because of the sheer amount of them in North by Northwest, and then just the last shot in Whiplash when they're looking at each other and J.K. Simmons is smiling and nodding.
Are you saying similarities? Or
Yeah,
are
just something you
saying-
can
I'm
compare.
gonna say Deception. I didn't watch North by Northwest, but Deception.
You were deceived. You were deceived in thinking it was a decent movie.
I couldn't honestly get into either one of the movies. I was like doing other stuff while watching them, including like sports betting. Like I wanted to do anything else besides watch those. It was like a tough week for
Even
movies.
Whiplash?
Yeah, I mean it was okay. Like I was still enjoying it. Whiplash, I was cooking dinner while it was on. So
Yeah,
my kitchen's over there. My TV's here.
You're the grumblies. You know, there's such thing called a pause button, right?
Yeah, but I kind of just play it loud and I'll just keep going.
More of an audio man.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
neither
an
were
audio
my
man.
favorite. So, but if anything, I would pick Whiplash over.
Yeah. I mean, I think Whiplash is the clear winner.
I think that's decided.
All right.
Does Whiplash stay relevant in 10 years with the phasing out of authority figures like Fletcher?
I think it becomes more relevant.
Yeah,
More relevant?
Yeah, because it's going to be a timestamp, right? Because obviously, like if, like you said, those types of figures are falling by the wayside, it's going to be a commentary on what the time was right now. And also, I think you're going to have a need for those types of stories to be told. If you argue that those characters should not be around anymore, or as a break from, having the same type of characters in a film. So I
So
think
relevant in a different way.
I'm getting his licks on your mic.
that's disgusting.
So let's chill, Rick.
Insert picture of lollipop there.
Yeah, here's the ASMR episode. Sorry
Dog
for cutting
licks
you
face.
off.
Nah, I mean, I think it's gonna stay relevant, and it might just the relevancy might change, but I think you're always gonna need stories like this. Like, I don't think that.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think necessarily that it's gonna change.
One thing though, I don't know how important these authority figures are to like stick around. So like you have a story like Remember the Titans. It's about racism. That's always going to be around. That's like not going away anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it was then. So it's a nice period piece to watch, and you learn a little bit more about these social, I don't know,
constructs.
whatever that went on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Something like this, like I don't know.
I don't think that that's going away either, because I think it's not a artifact of the time. I think it comes down to people with power. There will always be people with power, right? That's never going to go away.
Okay.
And you'll always have someone who abuses their power. So I don't think it's going to go away.
With good intentions.
Good or bad intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Because that's the fun part of this, is that he's abusing his power, but his intentions are fine.
yeah,
He just wants to create a good musician.
I completely agree.
that's
and in
it.
that case, it even makes more sense that it's not going to
Yeah.
go away.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Whiplash is moving on. That'll be an exciting episode. Next week's episode, okay? For all of you viewers who want to follow along with our bracket and watch the movies before the episode comes out,
Not going in order this time.
Not going in order. We're going to mix it up a little bit. We have the 39 seed Gladiator, Russell Crowe, versus Tom Hanks, Tim Allen in Toy Story #1. Very exciting stuff.
Very exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily, we'll get to it, but not necessarily a fan of the Toy Story franchise. Again, contrarian. So we're gonna have a little bit of fun with that one.
Anti-Toy Story.
I don't like some of the things they were doing back in the 90s.
I hate toys.
Rosebud.
I'm like starting to question what you do like.
Not much, Jack.
It's
There's not much.
Do you like Tim Allen like in other movies? Or
Ooh?
no? Yeah. What about Home Improvement?
Tool Time. No, it is Home Improvement.
yeah.
That's the show within the show.
Yeah.
Great meta show that it was. I don't think it gets a lot of credit for that.
I just
it's
watched
pretty
it
nuts.
the other
I don't
week.
think it needs a lot of credit.
It's on it's on like Netflix or Hulu or something.
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah.
Maybe I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our matchup for next week, Gladiator versus Toy Story. You can make your own bracket and vote on the bracket. All of the matchups coming up at the website in the description. And until next time,
Fuck Citizen Kane.
Fuck Citizen Kane.
FCK. All right.